Hi everyone, and welcome to the Gemini Sun, Moon, and Rising Spiritual Connection reading. Welcome to everybody returning and new. This is I Am Illuminated Tarot and Meaning-Based Life Coaching Services. I am Lauren, and this reading specifically, along with all of my content on YouTube and my website, are here to work with the Triad of Engagement and to demonstrate how working with the three basic principles of curiosity, courage, and contemplation that, when applied together, can keep you feeling fully engaged and in flow with the unique energetic imprint of your life. Additionally, everything here is meant to help you answer your own I am question so that you can re-engage with life in a more authentic, meaningful, and emotionally fulfilling way. If any of you are interested in learning more about the Triad of Engagement and how it can help liberate you from the feelings of frustration, anxiety, fear, and detachment, and reconnect you to the feelings of purpose and meaning, emotional fulfillment, and even to opportunities and the possibilities that you've become closed off to, the link to a couple introductory videos is in the description box below. And now let's get right into your reading, Gemini. So the way that this reading works is we will pull a card here for your energy, Gemini, your unique spiritual self, and then we'll pull some cards for what your external environment, which I consider destiny, the universe, is calling you to engage with so that you can help unlock some unique spiritual gift, ability, hope, or dream that is needed in your external environment. And then we'll go into more detail here. So Gemini, let's see what energy you are sitting with. We have the Page of Pentacles. Now, the Page of Pentacles it can actually denote in a different setting, in different context, it can denote perhaps a message coming in. But generally what this is showing me is that you are sitting with something tangible, a gift. A pentacle refers to our physical world, and you're ready to go out and engage that with the external environment. That's really what the Page of Pentacles is about. It's about tapping into that childlike enthusiasm of almost like having a new toy and wanting to see what it can do. It can also be a card of seeking out new information. So it could be you wanting to go back to school or starting a course to learn something new. Now I'm going to pull a card to see what is going on in your external environment. I'm going to actually shuffle these again. These happen to be the exact same two cards in the exact order that came out in the last reading. Now, if they come out again, I'll take them, but it could be that you guys are linked, but I just want to make sure. It just didn't feel right there, even though I'd shuffled in between readings. Okay, let's see. Ooh, there we go. The Magician. Oh, interesting. So Gemini, this is your energy in the tarot, in the major arcana. The Magician is also a card that teaches us that we can tap into all sides to ourselves. That we can tap into, as you can see here, he has a table with each one of the elements from the tarot sitting on it. And he has the ability to work with each one of those. So he can work with things in the tangible world. He can work with his thoughts, which are swords. He can work with his passions, which are the wands. And he can work from an emotional place, which is the cups. And then he has the ability to directly tie his self with the spiritual, the divine, what's external to him. And so really what I'm feeling here, I'm looking at these two, is that you are being asked to engage with your external environment, to be reminded that there are other aspects to yourself than just the one side. That there are other parts of yourself that you can engage with and really step fully into being the magician, step fully into that power of being able to understand that you can manifest on every level and that it isn't just about what you can feel and see and touch in the tangible world. It's about also what you feel and think and how you act and the passion that you act from. So this is, I can kind of see you guys maybe like being in a little bit of like a scary but fun place where it's like, okay, I have a little something that I want to go out and play with, but I'm being called now to bring this out, to elevate it to another level, to show me really what I'm capable of. This really is that card of what you are truly capable of. Now I'm going to pull some cards here in the middle. This is what I call the void. This is the void that we build from the time we are young that ends up being filled with fear, anxiety, hurt, frustration, disconnection. And this is the void that grows from the time we're a child to as we grow into an adult, that is based on the reality of every time we have tried to bring our unique, singular spiritual selves into engagement with our external world, and something didn't turn out right, that we didn't get the result we were anticipating, that we failed on some level, that perhaps we were ridiculed for revealing that part of ourselves. And so we start to build this void of the negative stories of fear. Well, I don't want to bring that part of myself out again because the last time I did, this happened. Anxiety. What if I have to show them this part of myself? Or what if there's a part of my external environment I can't control, and therefore I am forced to reveal something about myself I don't want to? Or in the past, this type of person hurt me. All of these things end up creating this void between you connecting your authentic self to your external environment. And it becomes almost a mask that others then cannot see through to see our unique internal spiritual selves. And we end up becoming disconnected from our external world on an emotional level because the emotions of happiness and joy and fulfillment are instead masked on a reverse level by fear and anxiety and the negative stories and the frustration of not being able to be our unique selves in the external environment. And so when I talk about the Triad of Engagement, what it's here to do is to help us, to show us how to cross and reteach us how to cross that void. Because we're never not going to have fear and anxiety and worry and frustration. Those are all feelings, and we can't get rid of them completely because they are meant to be here for a reason. They are meant to help us learn lessons, to see things in new perspectives, to be able to allow us to grow and to change and to temper things about ourselves. But in addition to that, we shouldn't allow them to hold us back and to not engage with our external environment because we are destined to fill a role. And the only way that we can do that and learn about ourselves and to discover that unique purpose and meaning of our lives is to engage with our external environment. And we're meant to achieve an element of emotional fulfillment from that. Okay, so the story I'm seeing here for you guys. Okay, Gemini, so what I'm seeing here is, get that out of there. Okay, what I'm seeing here is there is some part of yourself that has had almost a negative, must have been at some point, this kind of negative reaction to the spiritual side to yourself. And that perhaps you've had some element where you have given up a portion of yourself to somebody, to support somebody else's passions. or you have been in a place where you have felt less than. Because I'm looking at you as the page. And the page is almost like this childlike, innocent element. And we have in your fear point the King of Wands, which is, it's a CEO energy. It's that energy of, again, kind of like a Steve Jobs energy. And then you have the Hierophant in between you and it. And the Hierophant is kind of the status quo. It's what is. It's the rules that that culture sets that we feel we have to, live by. But it's also the rules that we place on ourselves. There's another side to the Hierophant, which is the Hierophant is the High Priest. That's the card in the tarot. And it really denotes that there's this element of spiritualism here, that it's almost like the spiritual side to yourself has been at odds with the CEO, outward facing component to that. And what I feel here is that at some point you've tried to bring out either a spiritual side to yourself, or you've been at odds with just giving up and giving in to larger personalities in your life. That you've allowed others to kind of take the reins. And you did that in an effort to, the Three of Cups is about sharing and celebrating with others on an emotional level, wanting to be a part of a group, wanting to feel like you can bring your cup, which is your emotional abundance, yourself vulnerable and emotionally vulnerable, in with others. But somehow something didn't work out. Because you have the Five of Swords. And the Five of Swords is about basically feeling like you have to, I look at it personally as a card of illusion, that you see everybody else as trying to challenge your personal truth. So you're on guard. So you're constantly trying to gain the upper hand. This is kind of a card of winning at all costs, even if that cost is losing everybody. And what I'm seeing here is that perhaps what's happened in the past is that you have had, because of this kind of strange relationship where you felt trapped by the status quo, trapped by having to either not express this part of yourself, this kind of King of Wands leader element of yourself, or being trapped by feeling that you are kind of beholden to an energy like that in your life, be it work or be it in a relationship, that you've not been able to successfully feel that you can be a part of a group on an emotional level, that you have somehow not been able to connect with others who perhaps see life in the same way that you do, and you've in turn pushed that outward into where you feel that you can't share yourself, you can't move from a place of passion, you can't share your truth, and you're going to assume that everybody external to yourself is somehow coming in to battle you, to challenge your truth, because you've been having to give it up to somebody else. You haven't been able to follow your truth. You've had to follow somebody else's. But coming out of here, I'm seeing that we have the Six of Wands in Judgment, and this is a card of victory. This is a card of victory through others recognizing how far you've come with taking action on your passions. And then you have a card of Judgment. The card of Judgment is about something happening. Like, basically, this is you being called up. This is you being called to be a different version of yourself, to come forward now as yourself. And so the whole story that's unfolding for me here is you have a lot to offer, but you feel right now that you are a page. You still feel like the page to the king, that you want to be the king. You want to live from a place of passion, but you are holding yourself back. And the level of frustration that's come now with having to either help manifest somebody else's dream or being held back by the status quo and being too afraid to step into this energy yourself, you are not being able to activate or be able to realize for yourself this recognition that you want for acting from a place of passion for yourself. And now you're being called up. Now you're being called up to engage with the external environment. And I think it's really about releasing and moving through your fear of what others in positions of authority might think of you, or having to go around what you feel is already set in place. That there's this element of you might be a little outside the box. And Gemini, I would totally believe that of you. But you're going to have to release the need for the support of others and even the external validation. Because that's really what I'm seeing here, is that you guys are seeking this external validation that can only come from within. And I think that's a hard lesson that some of us have to learn, that we sometimes can get trapped in this place where we feel that we have to support another's dream or to support another's passion, and that somehow we're going to get this external validation for doing that. That we're going to be able to join the club, so to speak. And then we realize that's not the case, because we're different. And we don't want to admit this to ourselves. It's a hard thing to admit when you see life a little differently, or when you are a little different, as we actually all are. But when you don't admit that to yourself, and you don't realize that you don't always have to conform. In fact, this is an area where frustration happens the most, when we feel we have to conform to things that don't fit us. And we feel pressured by the external people to do that, when in reality, we don't have to be around those people. We don't have to be under their influence. We don't have to seek relationships with people who are not going to share our cup. Even if we want to be this kind of CEO energy ourselves, we have to do it on our own, in our own way. And that's really the lesson that is learned when you work for somebody like that, or you live with somebody like that, is that they are acting on their own passions. They're acting from a place that makes them feel good. And they don't care that you don't. And so there's this element of having to understand that sometimes, in order to step into your greatest power, you have to be okay with being this kind of innocent version of yourself and taking that into the world, to learn that you're the magician, to be fearless, to understand then how you can tap into this energy yourself. You don't need validation from this type of person in your life. You need to become that person. So now I'm going to pull cards for the Triad of Engagement. The Triad of Engagement is going to work with curiosity, courage, and contemplation, and it'll kind of give us a little bit more of a roadmap of how to bridge this void of fear, bridge this issue that's kind of keeping you stuck. So I'm going to pull a card for curiosity. And curiosity this is where you build the bridge. Now, if you think about it, you have a void right now between yourself and the external world, filled with this kind of negative relationship to those in positions of authority, those who get to live their life. It's kind of what I'm hearing come through, of like, well, they get to live their life how they want to. Well, so can you, Gemini. So can you. So for the bridge, we have number 47, the thinking woman, and number 5, attachment. And the bridge, to kind of go over this, curiosity is what allows us to open ourselves back up to being receptive to the external environment, instead of blocked by this masking layer of fear and anxiety and frustration. We say, you know what, we're going to let that go, and I'm going to open myself up to the possibilities of bringing out a part of myself that I've been a little too afraid to do so, or I've felt that I can't. Or in the past, when I brought out this version of myself, I didn't receive the recognition that I wanted. I didn't receive that feeling of camaraderie that I wanted. Well, now it's time to go out and face this fear. And in doing that, you're going to build a bridge of being curious about what you've learned. The thinking woman is about being analytical and about realizing you've probably done a lot of research. This is the card of kind of fact-finding, of going out there and being able to gain information. And to realize you've already done that. But you're also attached to something. You're attached, and this is a beautiful card, to the mask. To the mask of who you felt you've had to become to hide yourself because of the fear that you've had based around positions of authority, status quo, sharing your truth, not feeling a part of any kind of tribe, and not getting the recognition for what you want to. And so now it's time to build a bridge to being open to, if I take off this mask and I open myself up to what is, what's going to come in for me? What are the possibilities? Why am I being asked now to cross this bridge and to interact with my external environment? And then we're going to pull a card for courage. And courage is your seat of action. Courage is where we get a chance to, we've built the bridge of curiosity, but now we have to have courage to cross it. It's not good enough just to build the bridge and wait. We actually have to engage through making that decision and taking action to engage with our external environment. Oh, 2 beautiful cards, Gemini. Surrender to success, surrender to receiving support and love. So in taking action to move across, this is where we tap into faith. This is where we realize the universe wants us to cross this bridge, to never have to deal with this void of fear and anxiety, that we should always be engaging our best self with our external environment, knowing that this is what's going to help unlock the best parts of ourselves and be able to be of service to the greater world, to fulfill our destiny. So surrender to success says you are ready to experience abundance. Don't look back at previous roadblocks or difficulties. Leap into an exciting new world of possibilities. And gosh, if that doesn't just mean, doesn't just depict fearlessly crossing that bridge of what it's going to be curious about, what taking this mask off and utilizing the studying that you've been doing, where it's going to take you out here. And then we have surrender to receiving support and love. Allow the love and support of others in rather than trying to handle everything yourself. This can take the pressure off and simultaneously nurture you, which is beautiful. This is showing you that there are people out there who love you for who you are, Gemini, and that you can rely on them. That this isn't just a world of hiding yourself and trying to gain recognition from people who don't get you. You already have people in your life that love you for who you are. I think you've just been so disconnected from them and looking for love and acceptance in the wrong place. And so this is about looking to actually see who's there to support you, to see who's part of your tribe. But that part of yourself, this is the courage. This is the courageous part of take the mask off, reintroduce yourself as yourself into your external environment, and you're going to get a chance to connect with the people who really jive with you, because you're going to, for the first time, be showing yourself, not the mask you've felt you've had to be, not the mask you've had to put on of fear and anxiety of what happened the last time when you tried to show who you were to a person who maybe didn't care who you were. This is saying there are people who do, but you have to come and be curious as to coming as yourself. And then we have contemplation. So contemplation, if this is the bridge across the void, and this is the courage to take action to actually walk across the void into the external environment, contemplation is your ticket back home. This is where we then get a chance to walk back across the bridge to take stock of, okay, I went across the bridge, I took action, I engaged with my external world, and now what did I learn from that? What part of myself was unlocked? And what now can I continue to bring forward? So we have transformation. Things are changing at a cellular level. Deep healing. Beautiful as well. So as you come back, this is really where you're contemplating on your transformation. It's incredibly healing to take the pressure off of yourself to just be you. It's incredibly liberating to understand that you are the magician in your own life and what you're being called, why you're being called to face these fears now, and to really step up into a seat of power to let go of the status quo, to let go of wanting this acceptance from others, wanting to be viewed in a certain way, and to just show up as you are. To know that you have the knowledge, to know that you're capable, and to understand that you'll be successful with who you authentically are. Now it's time to understand, okay, you've rediscovered yourself. Now come back and see that transformation to see how you can continue on this new level to then re-engage with life and continue to re-engage as this authentic version of yourself. And I'm going to go ahead now and pull a couple additional clarifiers for your energy and the external energy. Now sometimes this is where in the last reading, oh my gosh, a very specific message came out. So there might be a specific message that comes out here. We'll see. Usually they're general, but if a specific message does come out, I will share it. So let's see. Additional information for the Page of Pentacles. Additional information for the Page of Pentacles. Let's see if anything else wants to come out. Beautiful. We have the Queen of Coins. And for the Magician, we have Page of Cups. And Page of Coins reversed. Interesting. Okay. So what I'm seeing here with you engaging with your external environment, what you're really tapping into is With Page of Coins reverse, this can be where we prevent ourselves from going out into the world, or we so internalize this kind of fact-finding, wanting to play with something that we hold it in instead of putting it out there. And I think what we're going to realize is that this is where we've been holding ourselves back from emotional fulfillment. The Page of Cups represents a similar energy to the Page of Coins, but instead of relation to our tangible physical world, it relates to our emotional world. So the Page of Cups is kind of bringing that innocent, childlike quality to our emotions. You can see this card is a boy opening up almost like a box, and there's a cup in there, and it's like this magic box. And this is being kind of open and innocent and vulnerable with your emotions, of realizing this feels good and I'm gonna keep exploring this. And you're gonna innocently share this with other people of like, I'm feeling this right now and I'm gonna share it with you. And how much, again, you, from not sharing your knowledge and not wanting to work with this tangible gift and share it in the external environment, you're going to see very clearly how you've been holding yourself back from just enjoying life on this very basic, emotionally content way. That kind of content way that when you look at a young child, they're just, a lot of times there's not a lot that is needed to make them happy. They can literally get a box and you could put it on the floor and they're excited they're going to tell you about the fort they're building, and they're going to have this whole idea around it, and they're going to just be happy as clams as they're creating this space for themselves. And that's kind of what I'm feeling here, is that you're going to tap back into that kind of energy of, oh, I can be vulnerable again. I didn't realize that I can feel this way and I can share it with others. But I was holding myself back from being able to feel this because I wasn't sharing this part of myself. I was holding that part of myself back. I didn't want to work with it because I was afraid of being judged. And then here for you on this side, we have the Knight of Wands and the Queen of Coins, which is beautiful. Knight of Wands is somebody who goes out and lives from a place of passion. It's somebody who strictly does just what feels good. Ooh, something new and shiny and fun. I'm going to go out and I'm going to try it out. But this is also coupled with the Queen of Coins. So it's hard to know. The Queen of Coins is about investing in the one coin, being able to, in the tangible world, know where to put your resources, know where to put your time and energy and focus. But it's hard to know where to do that if you haven't gone out and actually worked with your passions, been able to do what feels good. The Knight of Wands is not afraid of being judged. That's the beauty of this energy. The beauty of this energy is the curious optimist of, ooh, that looks fun, let's go do it. And then on to the next thing and on to the next thing. But then there's this component of that there can be a dark side to that, of never sitting down and fully focusing. And knowing then, as you do that, as you interact with your external environment, seeing, okay, well, I'm going to start to kind of whittle down. What do I like to do versus what do I really need to focus on growing in my life, because this is important. This is what will bring me stability and abundance. And this is a gift that's meant to be grown into something bigger. And so right now, by interacting with the external environment, you're going to see just what you can do with this coin and how you can invest in it. But you also are going to see what it feels like to just go out and have fun with it, to surrender to what success feels like as you go out to do fun things. But you do have to realize that, Gemini, you're a sign of duality. You're a sign of the twins, and the negative side is that there is this element of Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. And so this is showing you that this is something that's kind of bringing up that quality to yourself of, yes, you can go out and have fun, but you also need to stop and start investing in something. So now it's time to see what feels good. Take off the mask. Get ready to be yourself. Face the fear of criticism from possibly those you've held in high esteem and wanted in the past to gain recognition from. And now you have to realize, in order to become this, you have to release your need for recognition and validation, and realize you just have to be yourself. Because the King of Wands acts from his own passions, right? And kind of in a selfish way. You're going to have to do the same. But he also understands the larger vision. Kings rule over kingdoms. He knows that when he acts from a place of passion, it should be of benefit to the kingdom in some capacity. And so this is really where you get a chance to then come back and see, okay, what do I need to nurture? How can I step into this role of, I want to go out and be myself. I know I have courage that it'll bring success. I am changing. I'm seeing a different version of myself. And where now can I, after going out into the world and realizing the emotional fulfillment I've been holding myself back from, now where can I kind of rest the Knight of Wands of, ooh, this feels good and that feels good and all these opportunities are out there, and really tap into, okay, I'm going to nurture this one part of myself so that I can really step into this energy as myself. That I can look past the status quo and I can find my own group of people who love me for who I am without the mask. All right, Gemini, that's all I have for you. This reading was kind of, a lot. I can feel that you guys are kind of wrestling with this underlying frustration. And I really think with you being called up by your own energy to tap into, you are the magician. Now is the time. And I really think this is kind of like the first step of like breakthrough for you to see the potential now for yourself. I hope that makes sense. All right, I'll see you for next week's reading, Gemini. Bye.